your autism almost saved someone's life? I'm somewhat of an autistic baddie. Well, kinda. I'm a 6 out of 10 blonde girl, and I have the type of autism that gives you hyperfixations, which means I know a lot about the most random things. For example, did you know that there's a type of jellyfish that ages backwards when it's stressed? Okay, anyway, one day, my dad started complaining about his sudden back pain. My mom thought he just tore a muscle in between his shoulder blades, but alarm bells immediately went off in my brain, because I'd spent hours going down rabbit holes of medical websites and knew this could mean life or death. I managed to convince my parents to go to the ER. I drove, and the whole way there, my brain was running through every possibility. Dad kept saying I was overreacting, that it was probably nothing, but his voice was quieter than usual, and that scared me more than anything. When the doctor finally came in, he did a quick exam and immediately decided it was either a muscle strain or a kidney stone. He ordered some basic labs and pain meds and seemed ready to move on, but I needed to know more. I turned to my dad and said, "Dad, describe the pain to the doctor again." My dad sighed like he didn't see the point, but he did it anyway. "It feels like something is ripping inside of me, and it started right between my shoulder blades." From all my late-night research spirals, I remembered that type of tearing pain is a textbook sign of an aortic dissection. That's when the main blood vessel in your heart starts splitting open. We had maybe an hour or two before my dad could die, so I tried to stay calm. "Could we get an aortic dissection or CT scan just to rule out the possibility of something worse going on?" The doctor laughed. "That's very rare, let's not jump to conclusions. You don't even have any credentials." I didn't know what to say to that, because how do you explain that your credentials is having autism? But when I looked back at my dad, I saw him getting paler. He'd started sweating through his shirt even though the room was cold. I pushed the doctor harder. "My dad has a history of high blood pressure. He's in his late 50s, and this was extremely sudden. He needs help, please." The doctor rolled his eyes, not even trying to hide the fact he thought I was just a dumb blonde. Anxious family members always assume the worst. "Just chill and let me do my job, sweetheart." He then laughed like it was the funniest thing in the world. It took everything in me not to strangle him with his own stethoscope. My dad was practically on the verge of death, and I was the only one who seemed to care. "Can you at least check his blood pressure in both his arms?" The doctor walked out without saying a word. Classic public healthcare. Then my dad groaned and said the pain was spreading down into his stomach. I felt ice in my veins because I knew exactly what that meant. It was getting worse in real time, right in front of us, and we were just standing there arguing about whether I was being dramatic. I rang the buzzer for the doctor again. Buzz. As soon as he came back in, I bombarded him with requests. "It's progressing. Please, do something. Order the CT scan." "CT scans aren't just given out like candy, sweetheart." He said it so casually, like my dad wasn't sitting right there looking like he was about to pass out. His lips were losing color. When the doctor saw the tears in my mom's eyes, he finally seemed a little concerned. But instead of ordering the scan, he started talking about monitoring and waiting for the lab results to come back. I responded, "My dad doesn't have time for labs. The dissection could rupture any minute, and then there'd be nothing anyone could do. I told you to stop escalating this and let me do my job." My dad's hand found mine and gripped it hard. He whispered in my ear, "Something is really wrong." I looked at him. I realized that if I backed down right now just to be polite, I might watch him die in this room. We maybe had 30 minutes left. The doctor turned and walked toward the door, so I stepped in front of it and blocked his way. The room went completely silent. My mom stared at me like I'd lost my mind. I spoke anyway. "If you walk out of this room without ordering that scan and my dad dies, I will make sure everyone hears about it. That you ignored all the textbook symptoms. Your life will be over." My voice was shaking, but I didn't move. "I will call security," he said, towering over me. I still didn't move. The doctor looked at my dad again. Really looked this time. He ordered the CT scan. I stood in that empty room shaking, replaying everything, terrified I'd been wrong and made a scene for nothing. 30 minutes later, the doctor came back. His face was completely white. They needed to do emergency surgery on my dad immediately. The surgeon told us later that if another hour went by without the surgery, my dad would have died. I knew I was right. Anyway, fuck bitches get money.